Something pretty incredible is happening over in Malaysia. A local farm, some cutting-edge blockchain technology, and a national education policy are all connecting in a way you'd never expect. And together, they're building this powerful ecosystem for empowerment. So let's break down exactly how it all works.
So right at the very heart of this story is a really powerful mission. See, this isn't just about growing food, it's about growing opportunity. The PWD Smart Farmability project is a social enterprise, and it's specifically designed to empower persons with disabilities, or OKU, as they're known in Malaysia, through sustainable, modern urban farming.
Okay, so what does farming with dignity actually look like when you get down to it? Let's dive in and see how this social enterprise is changing lives starting right from the soil itself, and the really innovative ways they're growing not just crops, but a whole lot of confidence too.
Now, I want you to forget any image you might have of a simple community garden. Now, this is a seriously high-tech operation. They're using advanced methods like aquaponics to grow top-tier organic produce. But look, the tech is just a tool, right? The real goal here, it's not just about becoming self-sufficient, it's about building real, genuine economic dignity for every single person involved.
Okay, but that brings up a really big question, doesn't it? If you're growing this amazing premium product using sustainable methods, how do you actually prove that to the person buying it? And maybe even more important, how do you make absolutely sure that the extra money from that premium price goes straight into the pockets of the farmers who did all the work?
Now the answer, well, it comes from a pretty surprising place, the world of blockchain. And I know, that might sound super complicated, but the way they're using it here is actually incredibly smart and powerful. Let's see how this tech is building a whole new foundation of trust. It's this thing called the Dignity Ledger. And honestly, the best way to wrap your head around it is to think of it like a digital receipt book, one that can never, ever be changed. Because the record is shared across tons of computers, not just one, no single person can go in and mess with it. That's the magic. So forget all the crypto hype you hear about. In this case, blockchain is all about one thing, creating a single, shared, unbreakable source of truth for every product from that farm.
So, how does this all work in the real world? Well, it breaks down into 3 simple steps. First up, the system logs every single sustainable action. We're talking everything from using organic compost to proving zero chemical use. That creates the unchangeable digital record. Next, this builds a digital credential for the farmers, turning their skills into something they can actually prove. And finally, it uses something called smart contracts to automatically handle payments, making sure everyone gets paid fairly and instantly.
So here's the really crucial part. This technology does so much more than just, track vegetables. It creates a self-verifying economic loop. It proves the premium quality to the customer, which in turn increases the value of what they're selling, and that ultimately boosts the income and the professional reputation of the farmers. It's this perfect, positive cycle, and it's all powered by trust.
But look, a project this amazing doesn't just appear out of thin air, right? It needs the right environment to grow, a place that actually encourages people to think differently. And that brings us to the next piece of this incredible ecosystem, the incubator.
And that's where this place comes in, the RAFI-DAH School of Entrepreneurship. And let me tell you, this is not your typical business school. It's an incubator built for changemakers, for the kinds of people who dream of launching a business that actually makes a positive difference, who would much rather learn by doing, and who are all about building a better, more sustainable future.
And yep, you guessed it. Here's the connection. The PWD Smart Farmability project is a graduate of this very school. It was born and raised in this collaborative, impact-driven environment. The school is basically the fertile soil that allows ideas just like this one to take root and really, truly flourish.
Okay, so this brings us to the biggest piece of the puzzle, maybe the most important one. How do you create a system at a national level where the skills you learn, say on a high-tech farm or in an alternative business school, are actually seen as valuable and get you formal recognition? Well, the answer is a national policy called Flexible Learning Pathways. This is a big, top-down initiative from the government, and its goal is simple but huge. Blow the doors open on higher education and make it accessible to absolutely everyone, especially folks who didn't take that straight, traditional path. It's all about creating more equity and more access to opportunity.
Now this chart, this really shows you how it all clicks together. This is the Malaysian Qualifications Framework. You can see you've got your traditional academic route, right?
But then you also have technical training, and crucially on-the-job skills, just like the ones learned at the Smart Farm. The whole point of the framework is to show how all these paths are connected and can all lead to real qualifications. It creates multiple on-ramps to success. And the key ingredient that makes this whole thing work is something called APEL. That stands for Accreditation of Prior Experiential Learning. You can think of it as the bridge that connects real-world experience to formal education. It's the official system that looks at the skills you've gained outside of a classroom and says, yep, this counts.
Okay, so APEL works in two really cool ways. Let's imagine one of the farmers from our project. Through APEL for Access, their years of hands-on experience running that aquaponics system could actually get them into a university program for agricultural science, even if they don't have a standard diploma. Then, once they're in, APEL for Credit could let them get college credit for a course on, say, sustainable farming, because hey, they've already mastered it in the real world. See, it's all about valuing what you know, not just where you happen to learn it. It's a game changer.
All right, so let's tie this all together now. Let's zoom back out and see how all these different pieces, the farm, the tech, the school, the government policy, how they all lock together to create this incredible ecosystem of empowerment.
So here it is, the whole picture. It all starts at the grassroots level with the Smart Farm, empowering people directly. That farm was nurtured by the Incubator School, which is a space for social innovation. That project then gets supercharged by the blockchain tech, which adds trust and real economic value. And holding it all up is the national policy that formally recognizes all the skills people are learning along the way. Each layer just makes the next one stronger.
And that is the main thing to take away from all of this. None of these pieces would be anywhere near as powerful on their own. It's the synergy, the magic that happens when they work together that makes this system so effective. It's a complete model where hands-on work, innovative tech, and forward-thinking policy combine to create real, lasting opportunities for people who might otherwise get left behind.
Which kind of brings us to one last thought. What Malaysia has done here is create a blueprint for connecting action on the ground with high-level policy. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What would it look like if every community, no matter where you are in the world, could build its own unique pathway to empowerment just like this?